Good morning and welcome to day 2 of Longridge Farm Kids Summer. Charlie's going to tell us what we're doing today. What are we doing today, Charlie?
We're doing normal jobs like we do in the morning on the farm.
So our morning routine on the farm, what we do every morning when we get here. Once we've done our morning routine jobs, other jobs change throughout the day, but this is our basic, what we do every morning. So what kind of things do we do, Charlie?
Feed the turkeys now.
Yeah.
Bring the horses in.
Yeah.
Check round the livestock.
Yeah. Let the chickens out.
Let the chickens out.
Just make sure everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Pigs to feed, things like that. So we're going to document that
Yep.
in this video. Hope you enjoy. So job number 1 is a new job now that the turkeys came in yesterday. So the first job this morning is to make sure that they're all okay, whether we need to top up their food and their water. So Chloe and Charlie have got a pen each. I think their waters probably need doing. I think they drank quite a bit, and they've eaten quite a bit as well. Just make sure, things to look out for, make sure first of all that there's no dead ones. Unfortunately that is a fact of life and sometimes that does happen. But I think today we're okay. Charlie, yours okay?
Yeah.
You can't see any, can you?
No.
No, all okay? Are they all bunching up under the heat lamps? Because if they are, that means they're cold, and the problem with them bunching up under the heat lamps is that they can suffocate if they all pile up. But these look nicely spaced out, some of them under the warm, some of them are foraging for bits of food, just generally being interested. Is that the same in your pen, Charlie?
Yeah.
They're not all bunching up. So that's good. So we will top up their waters. Just check the waters. I think they're actually quite full. Yeah, they're full. So waters are fine. We'll just clean out the little bits where they're drinking from, and then we'll give them a scoop of feed as well. So Chloe, just give this one half a scoop.
Yeah.
Because they have got some, they've made quite a mess. So just put it on the plate. We'll just move them out of the way gently. That's it.
Mine needs a full scoop.
There's slightly more in your pen, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's it. That's lovely, Chloe. Well done. Right, Charlie, come and get. Chloe, pour the rest onto Charlie's plate.
I need to take it.
Go on then, put them in. Lovely, so we will secure the pens back up, and that's job 1 done. Okay, job 2, get the pig feed ready. So as part of their mix, the pigs have sugar beet. So it comes in pellet form and it needs to soak. So when we add water to it, it will soak for 24 hours and it will sort of expand and turn into like a mushy sludge that the pigs tend to love. So we need a bit of maths for you, Charlie. You ready? And you thought school was over.
Yeah.
A bit of maths. We need to put double the amount of water in that we do pellets. So I've put 4 scoops of pellets in. So well done. 8 scoops of water. Make sure they're full scoops and put them in. And so that's 8 scoops in. As you can see, it's just water. Charlie, put your scoop in and just mix it around from the bottom. The pellets are in there. Now we need to leave this to soak for 24 hours. You can get quicker brands, kind of speedy beet that soaks in minutes, but our pigs tend to turn their nose up at that because they're a bit fussy. So that's that. So we've just fed our 2 pigs that are on site here. This is Shane, our boar. He's pushing 10 or 11 years old now, which is quite old for a boar, but he's got quite a nice easy lifestyle, so he's doing well. And this is Cherry Pig, who you've seen escape and get up to all sorts of escapades. Now I'm not sure if you can see, if you give me the camera clip. Shane's quite clean, but if you have a look at Cherry, you'll see she's got loads of dried mud over here. Now, that is because they have created this. Conveniently in the gateway, so we can't actually get in. I now have to climb over the fence. But they've created their own wallow, and there was another one over in that corner that's sort of dried up in their pen. Now, in all that hot weather we had last week, the pigs made this, and I have been chucking a few buckets of water in to keep it wet as well. See, unfortunately, pigs can't sweat. They don't have any sweat glands. They can't sweat on their own. So the idea of them creating their wallow is to cool down. It acts as a sunscreen, so obviously Cherry in particular hasn't got much hair and she's quite pink, so she's prone to getting sunburn. So it's not only is it a sunscreen, but it helps them keep cool in this horrible weather. We almost opened the shed and brought them into the shed, but they seem to be quite happy. Where the sun falls, it creates quite a nice bit of shade on this sort of side of their sty. You can see all the stones they've dug up. They're quite active. But we'll keep the wallow wet for them because I think it's meant to be warm again next week. Shane can be a little bit grumpy when it comes to feeding time, so we try not to get the kids in. I normally feed it, they pass me the feed and we feed them, and they swap buckets. They make an awful mess, look, despite having a tub. Is that good, Shane? Next job is to let the chickens and ducks out. They get shut in at night by Granny, so we let them out. If you look really closely, you might be able to see the chick. One little chick was hatched, look, by one of the mums. And they come out. You see they're gated off, they can go under their gates, but Granny doesn't like the rams, and the rams were brought in just to eat the grass. So we fence them off so that Granny can come in unharmed and shut the chickens in at night. We've got feed in there, water in there, we need to fill the water bowser up today. Rams will be coming out later this week and there'll be another video themselves. Charlie's the smallest, so he's nominated to go in and collect the eggs. We split our cattle, our Dexter herd, into 2 groups, and we've got one small group here in the orchard up on the main farm. And this consists of fat cattle, so they're easy to get in, ready to take. Any females that you don't want to be with the bull, and also any cows that are freshly calved. We like to give them a break once they've calved for at least 2 or 3 months before they go back to the bull. And you can see there, feeding behind Mama, is our youngest calf. It's about 6 weeks old now. Hello. As you can see, the grass is just starting to go off a little bit pale. With all this warm weather we've had and no rain, we're going to have to start feeding them hay or haylage at some point. But for now, they're pretty they're pretty quiet, pretty happy. They're just coming over to see what's going on. They're pretty vocal Dexter cows, so they'll soon tell us when they're hungry, or they'll start trying to get out. One or the other. One of the main jobs in the morning is to check the main herd. So we have Dexter cattle here. This is probably one of the favourite jobs of the kids because it involves
Driving our quad.
Machinery. They're definitely their father's children. So they've got their quad and they follow me around on mine. So what's so special about Dexter cattle, Chloe? What's different about Dexter cattle to most cows?
They're short, they're not as big as the other cows.
Yeah, so there's 2 types of Dexter. There's long leg and short leg, nice and technical term. We've got long leg Dexters, but it still means they're quite small compared to normal cattle, which is quite nice for our system because we're a smaller farm with smaller sheds. They fit in nicely. So when we come out and do the stock check, we come out, make sure they're all up. They're all either grazing or chilling. They all look quite happy. Walking away from us is Howl, the bull. And then we also, because Dexters are particularly naughty, what do we need to check, Chloe?
All the fences.
Yeah, all the fences, make sure they haven't pushed any gates open, make sure they haven't made any holes in any hedges, because they are particularly naughty. So you can see a cow there with white on, that's Ruby. She's a Hereford cross, so she's not a Dexter. We bought her in as the calf on milk, and she was going to go for meat, but the kid's dad fell in love with her, so she now stays. And then there's another one. See the white tail flashing? That's Daisy. She is our dairy cow, so she has a calf every year, and then we milk her. She's currently dry at the moment, so she's currently waiting to have a baby, and then we'll start milking her again. We'll get some close-ups in a little bit. That's the cattle. Howl with the horns, our bull. They're very inquisitive. They will wreck the quad bike if you let them. This is 242. Next to her. cattle are fat lambs, so these lambs have been weaned. They've been separated from their mums now for probably nearly a month. If you can see that one with the blue on, what's that one called, Chloe?
Higgin.
So that one is a ewe lamb that I've been forced to keep by the children, and you may have seen the post on Facebook a few weeks ago. So there's about 40 lambs out here. Again, we just check that they're all upright. We drive around them all. They also like to escape because they're smaller, but they're generally pretty well behaved. Look, they're a bit camera shy. They don't want to know. Check that they all look okay, that they haven't got any maggots. The flies like to lay eggs on them, so we have given them preventative treatment, which stops flies coming near them, but it is always handy just to check as well. Some of these lambs will go into our lamb boxes, others will be kept as replacement lambs. Last on the list for check-in is our breeding ewes, our sheep. So once again, we'll drive around the field, make sure that they're all standing, they're all okay, go and wake them up if they're asleep. A lot of them like to hide in the hedge in the middle of the two banks. They have access to both. So we'll go and make sure that there's nothing in there feeling sick or sorry. We'll check the water troughs, fences, just like the cattle really. Quick quad change, we all have to share, so it's Charlie's turn now. He's going to stick around the bottom of the bank while I go up and do the hilly bits. You ready, Charlie? Right, you do the bottoms and I'll do the top.
Pardon?
You do the bottom of the bank and I'll do the top. Alright, off you go. The sheep do tend to group together when we bring out the quads and go round them, generally because they think we might be making them come in. We use the quads to kind of herd them in. And if you look at the very top, there's always a segregated bunch of sheep called the Kerry Hills. They don't associate with the rest of the flock because they think themselves a little bit special, but they are generally the most flighty and scaredy pants sheep you ever met. We'll get a closer look when we go up on top, but the rest of the flock look okay. Very pretty, but very suspicious. Run away! Kerry Hill sheep. And that is it, all the stock is checked, everything seems happy for today. I'm not sure there's much stock checking going on down there by Charlie, but he's having fun. Cattle are down there, look. And that's it for day 2. Farm Kids Summer.